to the October R&R session. My name is Shelly Maxwell, and I'm a yoga instructor as well as one of Ascension, Wisconsin EAP's full-time counselors. I'm joined by my colleague, Jen. Jen is my wingman. She helps with recording the sessions and managing chat if anybody's having difficulties. Jen also oversees all our trainings and presentations, as well as our YouTube channel. And you can find all the past R&R sessions on a playlist on our YouTube channel. If you search up Ascension, Wisconsin EAP, and they'll come up. And today we are celebrating 2 years. 2 years ago, October of 21, we started these. So it's kind of funny watching the original videos. Some things have stayed the same and some things have not. But for those of you who've joined us before, welcome. And if you're new, we're very glad you took this time. So what we generally do is I run through some guided imagery and reflection, and then we move into grounding and deep breathing, and then into some chair yoga or chair stretching, however you want to call it. And then I find I end with a poem at the end, just time to kind of settle in and savor and integrate the relaxation, and then we close up. And for those of you collecting wellness points, I provide that keyword at the end. So just a reminder that if you have access to this R&R session, you have access to our EAP services. And EAP is completely separate from your health insurance, and it's for you and any direct family member under your roof. And it is literally free, confidential counseling. Jen and I have been counselors for many, many years. We love the work we do. And so, and we love that we can work in a setting where we aren't impinged by insurance or private pay or diagnoses, that the employer is paying for it and the employer has no idea who is using the service. So I just want to make sure you're utilizing it as you need. So let's begin. And I apologize, I switched photos, the place for stock photos, and I'm finding these are a bit more pixelated. So I'm going to go back to my original place next time. But for now, we're just going to have a little bit of a fuzzy image. And I've been thinking a lot and reflecting a lot on the harvest time. And especially living in Wisconsin, the harvest is something we witness when we're driving, but our families, our communities, there's a lot that goes into harvesting vegetables and grains and everything that is fully manifesting itself right now. One of my joys is going to the farmer's market, but this time of year is even more special. I think about when we're in the season of harvest, the seeds that were planted 6 months ago, and how we've been able to witness and observe their evolution. You know, I'm a gardener, so, you know, whether I'm starting my seeds and that whole ritual, or seeing the little green pop through the soil. And my kids are always commenting on how they can't believe, you know, the tomato plants at this time of year, how huge they are, and that they watch them start out as little seeds. And in yoga, we talk about the divine intelligence within seeds, the divine intelligence within an acorn, that it will become an oak tree if the environment is right for that acorn. And then we not just think about seeds that are external to us, but also the seeds within us, the cells, and the divine intelligence within us and our cells. And so if you want to take a little bit of time to think about, you know, the cells that make up your body, over 30 trillion cells. I had an 8th grade client last week, and something that often happens with middle school girls is restricting calories. And she was experimenting with that behavior, I found out. And, because there's parts of her body she doesn't like. And I asked her, well, what about all the other 25 trillion cells in your body? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, the cells that make up your arteries and your veins, the cells that make up your cornea, your retina, your eyelashes, the neurons that make up your thoughts. Like, how are they going to get nourishment? How are they going to be taken care of? And I invite you during this harvest time to think about ways you're, one, nourishing yourself, and to think about not just the cells, the physical cells in the body, but the other types of nourishment you need for yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And on the other side of it are the seeds that you plant, right? This harvest time, we're reaping the rewards from those seeds sown. And sometimes seeds can also be our actions and our intention with behavior. And so as I look at my to-do list that I created in the spring, my wish list, if you will, for things to get done by this time of year, that's kind of wrapping up. And I find myself thinking about, what do I want to be intentional with this next season, the season of equinox and solstice, where the days are shorter now. We're in this time where we're in equal balance between night and day, but increasingly the days are going to get shorter. And how do we need to adjust with our self-nourishment, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? So I have this image of produce from a garden, not the ones that are super pretty in the grocery store, and to think about there's lots of ways that bring us nourishment, like connectedness, right? And I think next month we're going to talk about coming together. I was kind of flipping the card between this topic that I chose today and the one that I'll share next month, but how we connect with our food, connect with our bodies, connect with ourself. And one way in the Buddhist tradition of connecting is thinking about the hands that picked the food or harvested the food that you eat, and meditating on that when you are eating, or when you think of the chair you're sitting in. Like, who made the chair? Where was it assembled? Think about the hands, even, yes, the mechanical robots that might have had a role in that, but somebody was behind that. Somebody had programmed that robot. Think about the industry and the people behind the industry, right? Even when you think of the material that makes up your chair, maybe the plastic parts, the metal parts, the fabric. It's always fun when I get a piece of clothing and I see the sticker of who it was inspected by, but then I'll think of, well, who was the one who stitched it together, And I am on site at a distribution center where they process a lot of clothing, and to see what it takes, from the embroiderer to finishing to boxing it up, all the people that load the boxes, and then send them off. A lot of hands touch the products and the food that we consume on a daily basis. And so let's really connect with that sense of being in a community where we are taking care of each other. And so with that, if your eyes aren't closed already, I invite you to close your eyes and bring that sense of connection a little bit deeper now, and really think about your cells, the cells that make up your lungs, your diaphragm, and bring awareness to that diaphragm, that hammock that hangs between the rib cage underneath the lungs, and how that is where the breath originates. At that diaphragm, as the diaphragm expands, you're going to notice not just the belly expanding, but really notice your ribs moving out to the sides and forward and backwards. And as you exhale, how those ribs come down. I mean, we've got at least 3 or 4 ribs that float. They're not even attached, right? And sometimes belly breath can be a little bit challenging, especially on a full stomach. So if that is the case for you, think about the diaphragm, how it moves the ribs and moving out through the side body, through the front and the back body. And the divine intelligence of your body right now, as it breathes, knowing all the different, knowing what to do with all the elements of the air you are breathing in. It's not just oxygen, right? The nitrogen, the helium. I mean, our body needs all of it, and it knows how to sort it out. And then it knows where it's needed, right? The healing that comes with that oxygenated blood. As we start to breathe a little bit deeper, as you settle into your chair, your circulation is going to deepen. Blood is going to be able to flow a little bit easier to those parts of the body that have gotten tense. And that tension restricts blood flow. It restricts healing. Sometimes when we do some deep breathing, we get a little bit warmer, and that's a good thing. That's the blood circulating. And if your feet aren't on the floor already, go ahead and bring your feet down and kind of wiggle your toes, maybe wiggle your tush in your chair. Just kind of see if you can settle in a little bit more deeply into your space. See if you can become a little bit more comfortable. And then sink into stillness. Observing yourself breathing. Notice the rhythm of the body as it moves with the breath. And as you become that silent, neutral observer to yourself, notice that as you focus on the breath, we have a little bit more ability to bring awareness and observe our thoughts, but not get caught up in them as much. And so I encourage you to continue to do that. That if thoughts come into your mind, that you let it know it'll be there for you at the end of this. But right now, your mind just needs to rest. You need to give your conscious mind time to not do. Just like we turn our phones off for a bit, right? Our computers so they don't overheat. Go ahead and release the cognitive mind and just be. Taking 2 more breath cycles here, making sure that as you inhale, that rib cage, that belly's expanding. And as you exhale, everything's just shrinking in towards each other as the ribs help to get the air out of the lungs as the diaphragm pushes up on it. And as you come into your next exhale, maybe slowly just wiggle the shoulders a little bit. Release the glutes, release the hips. And come to the crown of your head. Maybe even if you can sense the space above the crown of the head. And imagine a warm light above your head. And then if you feel comfortable, feel free to open up the crown of your head and let that light in. Either way, letting that light like honey just come over you, coating you, warming you. And let it just gradually pour gently, gently from the crown of the head all the way down over the head, the face, the ears, the neck, the shoulders, the upper chest, the back, the middle of the back, the belly, down through the hips, the pelvis. And imagine that washing over your legs, your knees. Feel that warmth, that beautiful energy around your knees, your lower legs, your ankles, all the way down to your feet. And then imagine that honey-like oil just soaking back into the earth where it originated from. Continuing to bring awareness to the breath and sense that sensation of lusciousness, that luscious nourishment that oil can give us. It's a little bit different from water. And this time of year, we're moving into that dry, airy quality. And so we need this oily, warm moisture around us. So starting to move your body a little bit more, we're gonna, now that we've connected with our breath, we're gonna start to move the body using our breath and using this sense of connection. So go ahead and let's rub our hands back and forth, creating some more warmth. You can bring your fingers, your hands over your face. And if your eyes aren't open already, you can open your eyes into your palms, letting the light in. And you might need to scoot back in your chair. I'm going to turn off my screen share so you all can see me a little bit better. And let's start with some cat-cow. And if this is your first time, we generally start with the exhale. And as we exhale, we curve the spine and hug that navel center in deeply. And then on your inhale, you bring the shoulders back, really squeeze between the shoulder blades, bring the heart center forward, the belly comes forward. And let the breath initiate your movement. So on the exhale, we come back into cat. And then we come into cow when you're ready to breathe in. Breathing through the nostrils, ideally. And this is where it's always helpful to eat lunch after these and not before. I was not able to do that, so I am feeling the difference of doing these on a full belly versus an empty one. So let's come forward on your next inhale and come back to center. Now bring your right arm across from you and hold the wrist with your left hand. And we're just going to pull it gently. And be Goldilocks here, experiment. Where does your arm need to be where you feel some sensation that you can breathe into? And then release and switch. The left arm crosses over, holding the left wrist, pulling it gently. So noticing how where the sensation is, maybe over the shoulder blade, the scapula, into the side body, and then release. And we're gonna cross the hands onto the opposite shoulder. It doesn't really matter which hand is on top. And we're gonna curl again and give ourselves a nice hug. So bring those elbows in, bring the chin in towards the sternum, and curl down towards the legs, imagining that seed that was planted, or those intentions that you've set for yourself back in the spring. And then when you're ready to inhale, open up the arms, bending the elbows, bring the heart center, and let it just open up towards the sky. And then exhale, you could reverse, bringing opposite hand underneath or arm underneath, and curl with the exhale. Really bring it in. Squeeze, 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 opening the back of the heart here. And then inhale, opening up to that divine intelligence within us and around us. Good. Now bring your hands to your shoulders. We're going to do some nice little shoulder circles. Reverse direction. Bring the arms down and release the left ear over to the left shoulder. So be mindful here of what your tailbone is doing, your belly and your rib cage. We want that tailbone to point down, the navel center to hug in and lift, and to stitch those front ribs together. And that just helps you to really lengthen through the spine. Now bring that chin towards the shoulder and breathe. Lengthening through the crown of the head as the shoulder comes towards, or the chin comes towards the shoulder. And then bring it back to center. Now the right ear gently, gently, gently floats down to the ear, or to the shoulder. My goodness. Good. Be aware again of the tailbone, the belly, the ribs, lengthening through the crown of the head here, and then bring the chin towards the shoulder. Breathe into the sensation. Relax the eyes a little bit more. The tongue releases, the jaw releases. And coming back to center. Bring the chin down towards the chest. So we're really lengthening through the back of the neck here. And let's come into a shake. Just shake, 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 shake the head, shake the body, shake the hands, let them be really loose. You can stand and shake. Okay. And then we're going to be really vulnerable with each other. And we're going to come back to center, clasp your hands. And if you'd like, this is where you can use a bit of sound. Well, we're just going to loosen up the jaw. And we're going to do that by shaking the arms. Plus, it's very playful, right? We all did this as kids. It's kind of silly. This is a great way to loosen the jaw. And then we're going to massage it. Massage the jaw. Massage your cheekbones. Massage your temples and your forehead. Be generous with this nourishment of touch. Okay. Bring touch into your daily routine, whether it's when you're shampooing your hair and can give yourself a nice scalp massage, or when you're putting your lotion. I've switched to using oil. Oh my gosh, I love it. So much better for me than lotion has been. You just have to give it time to absorb. Massage around the ears, the earlobes, even the inside of the ear, you can get into a little bit. Good. Okay. Maybe massage the neck, the back of the neck, the base of the skull. Okay, so bring these different methods into your day, right? Between each session, each day, see what you can bring in, or bring in that body awareness when you're getting all clenched up, to bring in some self-massage in your workday or some breathing. Good. Now let's bring our hands down to our sides, and we're going to do a counted breath. On the inhale, we're going to count to 5, lifting the arms. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the left hand to the outside of your right knee and twist to the right. And now bring your hand to your heart center and tap it twice and lift the arm, open it up. Again, tap the heart 2 times. Inhale and open. Exhale, come back to center, switch. The right hand comes to the outside of the left knee or left leg. That left arm opens up, and on the exhale, tap the heart twice. Find that sense of gratitude. Bring it in, tapping. Good. And then coming back to center, lift the right leg and circle the ankle, reverse direction. And then bring that knee in. So either clasp the hands around the shin or the back of the leg and wiggle the leg. Just let it dangle back and forth. And then stretch it out, release the leg, but keep it straight and point and flex the foot. And then bring the right foot down, bring in the left, bring the knee in, either around the shin or the back of the leg. Rotate the ankle, let it wiggle, and then lengthen out that leg, releasing the hands and point and flex the foot. Good. Do some shoulder shrugs. Breathe. Okay. All right. Hopefully you're feeling good. So I'm going to close today with a poem by Mary Oliver. I've shared this one before, but I just wanted to do it again because we typically take more walks through the woods this time of year to enjoy the leaves, the beauty of the fall. So Mary Oliver, When I'm Among the Trees. So when I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say they save me in daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches. And they call again. It's simple, they say. And you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine. And so with that, I encourage you to be thinking about the seeds that you're planting for this next season within you, finding ways to be nourishing to yourself, and so that you can walk with a sense of lightness and the ability to shine, be true to yourself. So I thank you for joining us again this month, and we will see you back here next month for the November R&R. Today's keyword is harvest, and just enjoy all that you are harvesting in your life right now, and we wish you well. So thanks again, and we will see you next month. Bye now.